This is the garden party, and we want a garden party with you. We'll talk about the plants we grow and some things you might not know. The garden party. What is going? Did my light just turn off? She
Yep.
has the remote.
Oh, too much power.
Dude,
Nice.
she found the dimmer. So my wife got me an awesome birthday present, and it is this Texas Garden Guy sign. And we couldn't find the right. These little remotes didn't come with batteries. They always come with batteries, and for some reason we couldn't find it. But now, you know what? This one works with it too. Oh my God, the frequencies. Oh, that's hilarious. Earlier when I was messing with it, okay, we're all over the place right now. Sorry. Guys, Texas Garden Guy here. This is the Garden Party. Welcome back again. We have some returning guests with us tonight. We have our good buddy. Well, we have my regular co-host, Phil Spiggs. What's going on, Phil? How you doing, dude?
What up, everybody? It's your favorite plant parent and regular parent, juggling the two. Back on his favorite show for the week, the Garden Party.
Absolutely, dude. Happy to have you as always. And we have returning guests tonight. We have Heavenly Hills Homestead. What's going on, Ryan Cook, dude? How you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Oh man, fantastic.
We're just hanging in there.
Right? It's almost spring, right? It's almost spring, so it's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mother Nature's teasing us right now here in Wilmington. She's like, because we could get a frost like March 31st. She'll throw one at us. Or like a freeze, and we're like, well, why? Why'd you do this to us? You teased us all March, and now you're going to do this? Awesome. Thanks.
We get frost all the way up into May.
So. Yeah.
Me too.
Gosh. Me too here. Yeah.
And y'all can hear
it's risky business at that time of year, man. Because you want to get all that hot stuff out, all your tomatoes and peppers and all that sort of stuff. But man, you got to be really careful whether or not to
get that one dip in it.
Yeah.
Oh. So she wakes everything up in March here, so that's the big thing.
Well, we also have Enoch Graham, our speaking of hot stuff and risky business. We got Enoch Graham, the urban gardener. Welcome back, dude.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thank you, guys. It's great to see you guys there. So thanks, Destin. Thanks, Phil, for inviting me back on today. It's good to see you guys. Also good to see my good friend Ryan down there in the corner hanging out, buddy. It's awesome. It reminds me of that first episode I had you guys on with me, Texas Garden Guy in Heavenly Hills on my show, man. That's how. Yeah. Now here we are, man. Awesome.
I don't always plan on y'all being on the same episode. This is the first time y'all been on the same episode.
I believe on the Garden Party, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember because I thought maybe it was back-to-back episodes last time. Maybe that's what it was. I thought y'all were on together. I was gonna say I didn't plan on y'all being on at the same time again, but maybe y'all weren't. I lose track. We've done a lot of episodes now. It's hard to keep track of who's all been on.
Hey, I know how you feel, man. I know how you feel.
You have been killing it with guests lately.
It's getting that way for me.
You've been killing it with guests lately, dude. I saw that you had who was the big guy the other week?
Charles Dowding we had on.
Charles Dowding.
Mr. No Dig Gardening, man.
So we did a episode with a person from England, and the timing was terrible. Like she had to stay until like 1 o'clock in the morning to come on. Like how bad was it for Charles? I guess it was different because you do yours in the morning.
Right. See, and I put that into consideration when I thought about my time slot, was because I wanted to be sort of available almost worldwide in a sense. You know, we can get our Australian viewers in. They just got to show up just a little bit early. You know, it's like 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning, some times of the year for them. But then also really just, you have to be open for Europe in a way, in my mind, as because there's just so many great gardeners and so many awesome people over there, especially in England and the UK and all of that. So, you know, making sure that you know, it's not too late for them, you know. So I was like, oh, well, how late can I go without going too into the afternoon, without, you know, kind of cutting them off from being able to be on the show as well, too. So,
right.
Yeah. When you're trying to get that kind of reach, that's kind of those can be limitations as well for putting together shows like this.
For sure. And if y'all don't already follow Enoch, the Urban Gardener on YouTube. He does his podcast, the Urban Gardener podcast. Or no, it's Let's Get Growing, right? That's the name. I always go ahead.
It's the Let's Get Growing show on the Urban Gardener channel. And it's just this is just kind of one of our newer things that we added to the show. I've been doing the Urban Gardener channel for about 8 years now. So for the last couple of years, I kind of wanted to get a little more serious with some of the kind of my initial goals with the channel when I was thinking about it, but it was mostly for fun those first few years, and then things kind of got kind of cool. I started meeting a lot of people and getting to know a lot of people, and we were doing some really cool visits and stuff. And so it was because of that sort of communications with some of these other gardeners, going to their gardens and interviewing them and all of that, that the whole idea was like, hey, you know what, we got to take advantage of some of this new technology now that we've got to start bringing people together. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what the whole idea was to build a show for the community, to where it's, for all of us in a sense to kind of gather and hang out together and get to meet each other and learn, more about each other. Or even, one of the big things I've found too, though, is by taking such a nice deep reach into the gardening world and finding people from all over the place to get in, you're really, really starting to bring people together and introducing other people like yourselves. I mean, Texas Garden Guy, Heavenly Hills Homestead got to meet right on my show. So I mean, how awesome is that? You know what I mean? Right. When you look back at things, that this is the sort of thing that we're achieving, and so, and like I say, we've got, it's, we get so lucky, like you said, so lucky in reaching out and being able to attain some of the most prominent gardening communicators in the whole world on our show. I mean, it's just such a blessing to look back now I got my list in front of me of all these guests we've had over the last few years, and it's just, I can't believe it, really, and I think really, in the long run, it helps build credibility in these sort of shows to be able to do that sort of stuff and get people to start listening and learning and coming together, like I said, in the overall gardening community, and really makes our show, Let's Get Growing, one of the top gardening talk shows in the world, right next to the Garden Party podcast.
So me and Phil met on.
This is my favorite show. I'm sorry. This is where I'd rather be. This is where I'm hanging out here.
I appreciate that. Well, and me and Phil met on. We did the Texas. I brought him on the Texas Garden Guy show. That's how me and Phil kind of hit it off.
Yeah.
And then we met you, and then I met Ryan, and I met Dez and everybody through all this. And we were talking about technology. What's really cool is, by being on your show, I've made new, people that follow along every week, like Adam and a bunch of these guys come on, and they're fantastic, So like, there's plenty of room for everybody to do this. Phil's got to start the fake cast soon. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
When I've learned not to find time. I've learned to make time for things, and that is how you got to go with things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my. Yeah.
Well. Speaking of making time, how's daylight savings treating everybody? I'm enjoying the extra time in the evening to garden, but I'm not. That really whooped me this year. Daylight savings.
Oh, it whooped everybody this year in the morning, and we're all coming out of a really cold long winter, and so we saw the daylight come. We're like, and the daylight savings just smacked us in the face. And in my household, just because I have younger children, it didn't go well. But we're like,
me so bad.
Good.
I get up 3 o'clock every morning. Go out, do my chores, enjoy. Kids, everybody's in bed till like 8. So I just enjoy my time. Go out, do some chores, whatever, drink coffee, relax. Yeah. I'm totally at peace. And then when you hear the pitter patter of little feet, you're like, here we go. And the day starts.
And then the day begins. 3 a.m., dude. Wow.
How many kids do you have?
I got 3.
Yeah, I got 3. I have 3 too.
Yeah. So.
Oh man, I'm telling you, it just. There's nothing like being a grandparent when it comes to all of that, man.
Right? Give them back.
Well, and you became a grandparent since last time you were on Enoch, right?
Yeah. This last year, man, it's just wonderful. Yeah, I got a little grandbaby, let's see if I got her here, right here.
Happy, healthy. Look at that smush. There she is.
Oh, she's also in the background right here too. So yeah, that's my little Princess Layla.
That's awesome.
Oh, Layla. That's awesome.
So beautiful. But again, like I said, I really feel for you parents who got to deal with the young kids and all of that. But as a grandparent, it's so much fun when you get to hang out with them and have some fun
Spoil
and
'em.
hold them. And when they start crying or getting to be a little too much, you go, here, there you
There
go.
you go.
Oh, they smell really bad. Here you go.
Yeah,
I did that for
exactly.
you enough times that you can
Right.
do this. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. It's like what I usually, because if they come out in the garden with me, which they always do, like today I had someone visit me that through the fig community, and he wanted to come, and he was from Massachusetts, and so we walked all around here. If you guys want to check him out, it's Dancing Bear Farm, and
Okay.
on Instagram. And we were walking around. My kids just came out, and you bring them in, and then I hear the hose going. It's going somewhere, and I turn the corner. I'm like, oh, there is a lot of mud here. But that's they're learning, right? So like, it's a sacrificial thing. Like it's still a learning space for all of them. But there was mud just about everywhere, and then the kids were spraying each other, and you get a fraction of the work you want done, but you still
Right.
get some work done. So what I always say to full circle is, as long as I can move the needle a little bit every day, I've moved the needle.
That's right. Absolutely. And you know
I'm
what?
Go ahead,
We're
Ryan.
gonna, we're going to get to a point where we're going to miss it. You know, we're going
Right.
to be like, man, I wish they was still home. You know, I mean,
Well,
and like my buddy, we're doing horses. I've been doing horses now for a while, and we'll get out here messing with the horses, and he's like, man, Ryan, you better enjoy it. I love whenever you come home and your daughter runs out the front door, and meets you at the
Right.
gate,
yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, there ain't nothing better than that. I was like,
There's nothing better.
yeah. And
You want both. You want both. And
right.
I think
I just
you setting up the foundation to like bring them into your space where they feel welcomed all the time, I think might help with that.
Right.
If they
Yeah.
find out that they love doing what you do too. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
That's
great.
Yeah, and there are those things, and I'll tell you because I've gone through it. But the whole empty nester syndrome that parents
Oh,
have to go
yeah.
through as their kids start moving on, and that was a difficult time. I mean, I really had a lot of those feels too. But I
Right.
will tell you, and I will assure you that you do miss it for sure.
Right.
It's something that you'll always carry with you, your little children and all that sort of stuff. But there comes a point after that empty nester syndrome starts to wind down a little bit more, you start appreciating your space again. You start enjoying all of that sort of stuff. And you're like, okay. And then you can really just enjoy watching them grow up and live their lives and become adults that you train them to be, in a sense. Right.
Right.
That's right.
And then comes the gift, like I said, the grandkids.
Right, the grandkids.
Right. Because then it starts all over again. You'll have this little grandkids that are going to come running to you, all excited to see you, can't wait to hang out with you, so it'll all come back around in a whole new story.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Y'all ever watched the movie Failure to Launch?
Of course.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna be Bradshaw. Whenever that's gonna be me. I'm gonna have the room with the fish tank and nothing on in there, just
yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
As
Going
a,
commando around your house.
Right.
as,
That's
a,
right,
as
right.
a childless man, I will tell you that is every single day for me. I am Terry Bradshaw without the fish tank with the
I
garden.
was gonna say, we gotta get you a fish tank, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I have actually been wanting like a chameleon or something like that. Like I would like a terrarium with like a. I just don't have the space. I need a bigger house with a bigger yard. I actually said I could keep it as a pet in the garden, but I don't think it works like that.
No, you can't do that.
Here in Texas, I have about 1,000 pet lizards outside. Like
right.
In the wintertime, my greenhouse turns into a breeding ground for 1, fire ants and 2, lizards. My whole dude, like every time I go in the greenhouse, they just all breed and lay eggs all winter long in the pots because I can't get to like 90% of my greenhouse all winter long. And so we had our last chance of like 50 degrees. And so I've been pulling a lot of our tomatoes out. I planted my first tomatoes this week.
It's early. My brain.
Oh my.
So I did that. But I'm able to get to about 40% of my greenhouse now. And it's every year, if you got a greenhouse or you pack your plants away, it's that, oh, look how much this has grown, or look how dead this plant is now. Like it's a 50-50 shot. My favorite thing to do all winter is to propagate stuff and then stick it all the way in the back of the greenhouse where I can't get to it and see how much the roots have grown like over like 3 months. Like it's so much fun. I've got like 100 something fig trees that I propagated right before the first freeze, and they're back there on a rack that I can't even get to. But the humidity is so high in the greenhouse that they just do
that's
amazing.
perfect.
Yeah, they
and
do
you can't,
so
and there's no
well.
way you can overwater them because they're you shoved them away from that.
Yes, it's so nice. It's so nice, but we're starting to get into it. Usually after my birthday is about the last freeze here in Houston. We've had a little freak incidents where it'll drop down. I figure like as long as it stays above like 45, 50 degrees, my tomatoes should be fine. But some people even put their tomatoes out earlier. But we haven't had a freeze in over a month now, so I think we're in the clear now.
Oh man, that's great.
That's just Mother Nature saying, "Oh, you're good. Plant everything," and then all of a sudden she'll hit you with something.
Yeah. She's like, "Gotcha."
Yep.
Yeah.
Luckily,
luckily, I've got plenty of extra. That was kind of my thing. I was like, I've got plenty other tomatoes and stuff. So if something freaky does happen, I went ahead and up potted a bunch of tomatoes into like 1 gallon pots, so that if I do like on the off chance get a late freeze, I can either replace them, or I can, if we don't get a freeze, I can sell those to like someone or give them away. I give away more plants than I sell, way more.
Yeah.
But yeah, so are y'all getting ready for spring? I don't even know what the preparation goes into. Like, are you doing magic pumpkins this year? Are you doing the giants? Like, when does that start?
I went out yesterday and burnt off a few of the patches with a big blowtorch, them ones you hook up to the 25-pound tanks.
Yeah.
Just trying to burn off all the seeds and all the weeds and everything, that turned into a bit of a disaster because we had a freak wind just come through and about caught the neighbor's house on fire. Thank God it's made out of brick, but yeah, that was bad. Yeah. So anyhow, because it was like no wind at all. It was dead calm, right? And I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, oh, this is great because of the sound, you go, oh, you feel like Tim Allen, right? On tour, more power, right? You're like, you're burning it all up and feeling pretty good. And all of a sudden this wind comes out of nowhere and takes all these leaves I had on fire and just whoop right to the neighbor's house. I'm like,
oh no,
terrifying.
Oh no.
So like I'm running, trying to grab the water hose. Right, exactly. So I had to shut it off. I didn't get them all burnt down, all the patches burnt, but I had a lot of weed seed pressure last year, so that was crazy. And I wanted to make sure I got a lot of that out because some of it was amaranth, and I didn't want
that spreads.
Yeah, bad. So I'm out there. So my plan is to burn them all off, till it, burn it again, till it, burn it again, and see how much of that weed seed I can get out of there, right? Because I was just polluted with that stuff, and you can't keep up with it. Yeah. And then I'm probably going to downsize from the giant pumpkin growing stuff. I'll be honest, my passion for that, I love it. It's fun, but just the people that's in it just kind of kill it for me. So I'm just kind of like, you know what? I love horses. I love mules. I love doing that stuff. That to me is more fun. So I'm just like, let me kind of push the channel, not away from gardening, but let's expand the channel, right? Hey, you can garden, you can grow, you can homestead, you can do the chickens, the ducks, the geese, the pigs, the goats, whatever. But let me show you what else we do, right? Like we ride horses, we'll take them camping, we'll take them fishing, we do other stuff, it's fun. So I'm probably not going to grow, 20 giant pumpkins this year like I usually do. I'll probably downsize to like 2 giant pumpkins, and then I want the state record green squash really bad. So I'll probably grow like 5 of those giant green squash, which get just as big as the pumpkins do. They're just they're not as catty. You know what I mean?
You're not talking about a zucchini. You're talking about like a big green pumpkin style squash.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
They'll get like 2,000 plus pounds as well. Yeah. So, but they're just green, and some of them's like really, really green, like evergreen green, and they'll have these white striations in them. So that
I'm doing some of those this year. I don't want them giant, but I'm doing some of those this year.
All right, cool, man. And so they're pretty, and so I want to kind of stay with the theme of pretty, but make it a green squash, and go for that. And then, there's only so many times that you can eat red M&Ms before you want a yellow one, Okay. And I'm sure that people who watch my channel are sitting there thinking, okay, dude, we have watched you for the past 4 years grow these giant pumpkins. We need something else. Okay. And that's really how you got to grow your channel, right? You got to show people that you're more than
Evolving.
just right. And so I'm going to take the more, direct path of just, hey, this is gardening. This is gardening 101, right? This is how I grow not giant tomatoes, but just any breed of tomatoes, right? And this is how you grow peppers. This is how you grow them in the ground. This is how you grow them in raised beds, and just go down that path and just not really get away from the giant growing, just not make it the focal point of the channel anymore, right?
For sure.
So, yeah, that's what we're doing.
I get the evolution because, I did a lot of stuff in the beginning that, I probably wouldn't. I used to follow the Farmer Froberg, rule of 5 tips for something. That used to be my thing. Everybody's got to do the 5. Here's 5 tips for growing, this. It's got to be number 5. And at GPT, it's really easy to do stuff like that right now. So
exactly.
If you ever wondered if you want to just have Chat GPT write you a video, it is very easy.
Yes, it is.
But
and most of those big guys are utilizing all of that.
Yeah.
That's where they're gaining all of their momentum.
And they come up with good titles for them too.
Yeah, the thumbnail for this video is from ChatGPT.
I thought it was awesome. That was so great.
That was really cool.
I was like, was that picture? I was like, okay, this picture, okay, maybe, but and then I sat there, I was thinking, man, I should have sent him a better picture, I think. And then you popped out that thumbnail, and I was like, oh no, that worked out perfect.
Right?
That was so cool.
I only use it for thumbnail backgrounds. That's all I really use ChatGPT. I will sometimes we're gonna do a big thing at Smith's Garden Town. I guess I can announce this. We're gonna do a big meetup at Smith's Garden Town in Wichita Falls, Texas, on May 31st. It's gonna be huge. We're gonna do it, and I'm trying to find the right name. So I was asking, Smith Summer Kickoff Bash, or I was trying to say, hey, GPT, can you come up with 25 names for a meetup or a festival at Smith's Garden Town in Wichita Falls, Texas? And it was giving me all these, and it's really bits and pieces, and you can evolve on this and that. It's not really something it's going to come up with the exact same thing, and Planapalooza was a cool one. I thought, I think that it might end up being Planapalooza. I like that.
That's cool.
That's
cool.
Yeah.
The last thing I'll say though too is there's
if they're not being we're on here for an hour. It can't be the last thing.
The last thing. But the last thing for right now. There's a festival. It's the Oakley Festival. It's a really old festival here in Oak Hill. Well, it's 40 minutes away from me. But anyhow, they came to me and they were like, hey, we want to do a giant pumpkin weigh off. And I'm like, okay. And they were like, we need to know everything about it. So, we go through the rundown, tell them everything about it. Last week, they wanted me to come to the meeting. So I go to the meeting, they vote me on the board. So, and then they vote for having the pumpkin weigh off. Right. And so now I'm in charge of putting on the first pumpkin weigh off at the Oakley Festival and stuff. So that's going to be pretty cool too. That I get to do this. I get to be a part of it. I get to, make the rules kind of thing. And, I get to set it up. So to me, that's pretty neat, that they even thought enough of me to do that.
Can I come up? Can I give you an idea for your title? What it should be?
Absolutely.
Chairman of the Gourd instead of Chairman of the Board.
Chairman of the Gourd.
Oh, dude.
I'm going to make me a
sign.
I'm going to make me a sign for that and hand it out at the next board meeting in April. That's cool, man. Thank you. You
gotta get a shirt made. Chairman of the Board.
I'll have to go up there.
That would be amazing.
Yes.
Yes, dude, I love that.
I have to go to Dirty Punk and tell him to make me a shirt for it.
Yes. Yeah, man, dude. Dirty Punk and his wife, Jeremy and Alicia, they're
awesome. They've
been so cool with my merch. And I talked to Enoch about doing the Let's Get It Growing, but they said Saturday is the worst morning. So, but I'll keep on about that because he's a great one to have on, man.
Yeah.
I love having him on, and they're so helpful with my merch and everything too.
That's
Gord. Oh, and by the way, people were asking about Des. So Des last week was her birthday, and they were in Mexico, so she was off. And then tonight is her husband Jeremy's birthday, and so they got a big dinner. So that's why she's off. But she'll be back. I think she's off next week too, because next week we have a big guest next week. We got Joe Gardner on next week. He's coming on.
Lample?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Yeah, dude. I'm excited. He's
well, see,
pretty
there's
cool.
a bigger. Well, I'll tell you what. I've had Joe on the show, and I've interviewed Joe. He's been on my show and all of that. But I'll tell you what. You get him here live with you, then you definitely one up me on that one for sure.
Oh, really? You had to pre-recorded?
Yeah. We recorded his interview. Yeah, exactly. So that's going to be great. I'm going to tune in for that for sure.
Yeah, he's really interesting, and he does this full time now. Great. So he's big time. I like him.
Yeah.
Not that y'all aren't big time, but like with a name like Joe Gardner, I mean, he's like put him on a billboard. He'll sell a lot more. He'll sell a lot of tickets. You know.
Yeah. He's been, he's got his award-winning PBS show, Growing a Greener World for many, many years, and he's really, really well known through the gardening world, and that sort of, as people have watched him garden for a long time. Plus he does, he's really like one of those people that for me early on in my channel, I'd remember watching Growing a Greener World, and because I really like that idea of features, let's go places, let's talk about gardeners, let's talk about gardening with gardeners in their gardens, what I mean? Right. And that is just something that he just really, really excels at with that show. So it was a real huge inspiration for me as I was like kind of tinkering with my channel at first, was like, okay, well, and sort of like what Ryan was also talking about early on, I was thinking, okay, well, let's start off with just covering my garden and talk about what's going on in my garden and everything. But then I had kind of like a bigger idea a little bit, and I wanted to kind of expand out, and I wanted to make it just a little bit more than that. So then I started going, okay, asking people, hey, can I come show up at your garden? Let's talk about, this and that, and do an interview. And I took a lot of inspiration from him, in his shows, in going out and venturing out and doing that and expanding my own channel in that direction.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for Enoch to come out here to mine.
Oh man, I'm telling you, I've been again too, coming back to the idea of like how fortunate I've been in meeting people and doing things. I sit there and think about that all the time, about how cool would it be as if I could just, load up the car, get all my equipment and everything, and then just take a trip everywhere and go meet everybody, and do all these videos and make killer features. And it'd
be really cool.
Every night you'd have like, this is what I'm cooking from this person's garden, like in my little van.
Oh man, exactly.
And that's kind of what I've been trying to do. Like when I do my little trips, like when I go to San Antonio, Austin, like Wichita Falls. I did a trip to Alabama to go see Just Dig It and Cog Hill and all that stuff. Like I was like, let's go do these nursery tours while I'm here. Let's go 7 nurseries and video all of them. It was so much fun.
It's been huge on the back of my mind for sure, like because of meeting so many people.
I got to go to schools to go surfing.
Yeah,
you got to come out here. We'll shred it up.
That's right.
We'll shred the nard.
Yeah. You guys,
we'll come back and eat some things.
Do you all know Justin Rhodes' channel?
Yeah.
Justin Rhodes.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Justin Rhodes was actually one of the very first YouTube people I ever met.
Wow.
And again, too, coming back to this idea, as I was saying, is they early on, I was watching their channel. They only had like 20,000 subscribers, and they were just growing and everything in their first year or two. But they were like, let's just really, but they had built a really big connection with a lot of the homesteading community for throughout the country and everything. And that was one of the things they did to really launch their channel into the next level, was they did what they called the Great American Farm Tour.
Yeah.
And they built out a bus and stuck their whole family in that bus and traveled around to every single state in the United States and did all that, exactly kind of the thing that we were talking about. Just went and visited everybody. And when they came here into Oregon, I went to go visit them up in Sweet Home, Oregon, to go and meet up with them and everything and all of that. And it was just, that was huge, getting to do that at first too. Again, one of those other things that kind of push you forward to do more and more with what you're trying to do.
That's like,
Go ahead.
Oh, so Enoch, you touched on it. Like when you said Joe Gardner, he was like one of the first people that got you on this path, you know?
Yeah.
I like hearing about everybody's. You actually had one of the people that got me on my path a little bit too, not for just for figs, but for gardening, was like John Kohler.
Oh
And I
yeah.
remember watching his stuff from
JK.
back in the
It was last
from
weekend,
back in
right?
the
He was
day
on last
too.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just had him on, and I was like, I remember watching his stuff like a decade ago, and I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh crap, has it been a decade now at least? And
More,
him, and even
more even.
Charles Malky and like Ivy Organics, like now I'm an
Yeah.
affiliate with him, and I was like, I was watching him
I
propagate a
just finally
fig a
connected
decade
those
ago,
two. I just finally connected those two together this last weekend. So
and it's
hopefully that
part of
works
that
out.
web. But like, oh, you know, I've
Yeah.
only been doing this for a little over 2 years now, and this network is very welcoming in the gardening world, at least
Mhm.
the network that I've met. And
Yeah.
but just to see but hearing where people have gotten started who've influenced them has been that's really fun to hear this episode so far. And like those are
Yeah.
my guys that have set me on this path. And then obviously the fig community, with like Ross
Yeah.
Ratty was a guy I've always watched, and here we are.
Yeah, let me tell you real quick about it.
Is that your living room? This is your living room, Enoch?
Yeah, this is my living room, man.
Shut up,
You
really?
got the coolest living room.
So like
This is my living room.
whenever you're not like doing this, is the TV like the regular TV that y'all watch?
No.
Or is this a corner?
This was literally, yeah, actually, because see, years ago, when I first dabbled in starting with live streams and stuff, I just basically stuck myself up into the corner over here. And I would do little live streams up and all of that and everything. But then again, too, as the idea got bigger, I was like, okay, wait a minute. People don't want to just sit here and listen to me, because that's all my live streams were. It was just me, just stream of consciousness, just going on for an hour and a half or so, you know, like we used to call them Wednesday night lives and everything. So when this idea came out, I was like, come on, we've got the opportunity to make kind of a real show. You know what I mean? StreamYard allows you all of this cool stuff to be able to do. So I was like, let's do this, let's do that. So then that became, let's turn the whole living room, basically, which it really wasn't doing much more than anything it is right now. But it was just a jungle all the time. So,
Yeah.
but I just kind of
Nice.
organized it better, stuck the little screen up there, you know, and then thought, okay, let's make a little set out of it and do that sort of stuff.
Heck yeah.
Real quick though, I just wanted to tell you, because you mentioned John Kohler, and I want to say too, one of the things about how fun this adventure has been getting into the gardening community for me and all of that too is John was similar to others we've talked to. I've followed the gardening community for many years. I mean, when I first got my first cucumber and started learning about it, I met all of these great people, and John again was literally one of those people, you know, Mark Valencia from Self-Sufficient Me, or you know, others as well too from back then. And so John was really kind of one of those kind of inspiring gardeners, because he was just a real guy, you know what I mean, and was just trying to, you know, was just pushing things out there. And so for me, it was like, okay, great. So I decided that at the end of my first year, I'd been to the Heirloom Expo, but I'd never gone to go see him or anything. But I was like, at the end of my first year of doing my YouTube channel, I'm going to this Heirloom Expo and I'm going to meet John Kohler, and I'm going to, like, you know, I'm going to go get, you know, do something or whatever. Right. And that was just kind of that kind of first thing of like pushing me moving forward with maybe going to interview people or do that sort of thing. Right. And I met John at the Heirloom Exposition, met up with a couple of other people that were his friends, and those friends invited me to go over to his place later on after that too. Because basically it was, I think I got it in the background here too. I don't know if you can see it, but I took a little handshake with John, you know, doing the whole little YouTube fan thing, you know, like, hey, John, handshake, let's take a picture and all that, you know, and it was great. But then here, just weeks later, I'm in his front yard, you know what I mean? Sitting in this place where I've been watching for years. I watched him build it all out. I watched him build all these beds. I watched him do all this stuff. And here I am. And for me, my channel was maybe like 150 people or something, you know, it wasn't much of anything. And I was so lucky to get invited over to just kind of do some weeding and hang out and help out doing some things with John and some of his friends. And John was doing his thing, and I was just kind of doing whatever. I'm like, oh, I don't know if I should bug him or anything like that, you know, because I'm really like, I want to get something out of being here hanging out with him, right? But then I'm back there with this other guy hanging out, doing some stuff. We're all talking, and John comes walking up to me and he says, hey, I saw you at the Heirloom. You said you had a channel, right? And I was like, yeah. He's like, you want to shoot a video? And I was like, what? Yeah.
You're like,
But
be
yeah,
cool.
he was just so awesome and so welcoming
That's
and
awesome.
inviting and everything too. So from that point, again too, that just kind of started something. And from there, I mean, I really actually consider John now, if anybody I've met or anything, probably one of my I don't know, you say close friends or best friends or just really good friends that I've made out of this whole gardening community. We've done so many things. We've gone hiking together, gone to like, farmers markets. Went to go visit him in Las Vegas and help him shoot a bunch of videos. I help him shoot all of his heirloom videos, and I'll tell you, okay, this is one fun thing that I'll say out of all of this was that John invited me when I went to stay in Las Vegas, and invited me to go out to the Hard Rock Casino, and to go see this really cool, fun, like rock show thing that they had there and everything. And it was just kind of, to me, I really wish I'd taken the video, but that moment where you're going down the escalators in this big, huge, like glamorous casino and stuff. And we're just these two gardeners from YouTube and all of that. And I'm like, oh man, this is so cool.
That's awesome.
I was like, man, I wish I would have got the video of us coming down. But again, too, he's just one of those real people and just a real guy, great guy and everything like that. And just probably one of the really cool meets that I've gotten to have out of all of this too.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Sorry, I'm going on and on here, guys.
Oh, you're good. No, you're good, man. Everybody I've met in person, like when I met Cog Hill, like y'all were talking about Justin Rhodes, like Justin Rhodes was one of my first guys I followed, and I got really big on his buddy Jason Contreras with Sow the Land.
Oh yeah, I got to meet Jason too. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that renovated the bus for their tour and everything. Yep. And like I actually found him because I was into wood carving, and I saw he had like a video on carving wooden spoons like that. And carving wooden spoons is not as easy as it looks. Okay,
it's not.
It is not.
Yeah.
There's an art to it. Some people do it really well, and mine are never straight.
Jason's story is really amazing too.
Especially with the cancer survivors.
Yeah, being a cancer survivor and just changing their whole life over and transforming it from, being this office guy to, having his own farm and everything too and everything. Yeah.
Wow.
I got to interview him at the Heirloom Exposition several years ago. And yeah, what a great guy too.
Yeah, I did an episode with him, doing the Texas Garden Guy show, and he was really cool. But like it was really neat because after I met Jason over at Cog Hill, like we started becoming friends, and like I went to like Alabama and we met, and like we text each other a couple times a week. It's pretty cool. Like when you meet people who have like really pretty big channels, and you start to get to like become friends with them.
Yeah.
Most people I've met have all been really cool. Not TikTokers usually.
Right.
Like YouTube.
But it brings that certain level of surreality to it. You know what I mean? Is that, here I am, this big fan watching YouTube in my own garden and learning from these people, who, again, like you said, they got these big channels, pretty good sized followings and everything like that. And to think that they would give me any time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which was just really weird to me, at first. It was like, wow, I'm just this dude with 150 subscribers on my channel. And John told me once, he's like, I had a lot of people early on in my channel. And mind you, YouTube was very new at that time. So we have a lot easier time trying to get people on doing things today than what he did then. But he's like, I got turned down by so many people. And it really kind of bummed me out.
Yep.
He's like, that's why if anybody asks me, I'll do it. Ryan approached me and asked me, and he says, hey, is there any way you can help me get John Kohler? And I was like, dude, John's gonna do it, dude. Here, dude, ask him, because he'll do most anything, when it comes down to it, other than doing something live.
Yeah, he won't do it
live. I did. The last time he was on was live though. I can
understand why. I can understand why someone wouldn't want to do a live, because they may say, can we edit that part out or something, just in case.
Right.
What have y'all started any seeds yet, Phil? Have you started any seeds for your spring garden yet up there?
I have, and I have starts already because other people have started seeds in my friend world here that I met through Figs, and so they're like, the saying goes, like, I have too many, and so here starts the sharing of cabbages and cauliflower. So, you meet so many nice people in the garden community. Like they came and they bought fig trees from me, and then I was like, we're actually having a great conversation. Let's keep in touch. Let me know how your fig trees are doing. And sure enough, he's like, hey, I got some extra starters. And our friendship kind of bloomed because I had given him a potted 1 gallon fig that a toad had snuck into the soil and fell asleep. And he got back to his house and he's like, by the way, and he showed like a fat toad that I don't know how it got in there. But he's like, it's going to live in my woods now. Like, it's fine. He's like 15 minutes down the road. So we just kept in touch since then. And yeah, he brought over maybe like 80 cabbage starts. And I was like, I do not have space for all of this. But I gave them to my friends. And all of a sudden we had like 3 derivatives of this like tray of cabbages and cauliflower and broccoli go elsewhere. But I got those in the ground. And I got some... my kohlrabi starts. Oh, sorry, Dustin.
No, I would say I'm going through that right now, trying to, because some things I'll just not have great luck with, and so I'll start way more. And I will say, since I started doing some soil blocking, I think they're draining better, and I think I'm having more success with soil blocking. I think I'm a huge fan of soil blocking now.
Oh yeah.
I'm having really good success with soil. I don't know if it's just the mixture I've got this right with the worm castings and stuff or what, but the soil blocking I'm finding, especially with stuff like leafy greens, that I'm usually not having a whole lot of either that or it's a combination of like talking to Greg at Haas. He was telling me about leafy greens and like celery and stuff. He was saying don't put it any deeper than the diameter of the seed.
Literally a lot of seed, and some of those small seed don't need anything. You just put it down on the soil,
put it right on the top,
just put it right on the top.
Onion seeds, you put them right on.
Because that little first root, the first root's gonna like dig it right into there. You know, I mean, they'll find their way into the ground for sure.
But I got the brassica list is done, and then I did get the squash. The squash is just popping up. They're a little more aggressive when they pop up, huh? So they're just like,
well, they're gonna get going,
Well,
I have not planted anything yet.
You haven't planted anything yet?
No, because every year I get excited and I'll plant stuff in January and February, and then come May, we're still cold and I can't put it outside, right? And I'll end up having blooms and buds on everything. It's like, and then when you put it in the ground, then they're stunted. Because they were trying to grow peppers or tomatoes or whatever already. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to be patient. I'm going to wait till the middle of March, and then I'm going to plant. I'm not going to get ahead of myself, and I'm not going to go out here and act like a crazy man and have a jungle in my house and in my cellar and everywhere else with all these full-grown plants. So I'm just biding my time for 3 more days. I've got 3 more days.
3 more days. There you go.
Yeah, and then I'm going to start planting. But I'm getting all the raised beds woke up because I direct sow all my leafy green stuff. So Swiss chard, lettuces, cabbage, all that stuff. I direct sow it, in, and then I just thin it out as needed, carrots and all that too. So I'll go out there and thin it all out and keep the healthiest, fastest growing ones. And then, either pot the other ones up, and give them away. Or if they're really, really bad runts, just toss them, so. Yeah, but I plan on having a really big garden this year because I've got a whole lot of space.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm struggling to find space, and honestly, for me, I'm doing a bunch of squash this year. I'm trying a bunch of different squashes, and I was looking for options. I've been using the smart pots for a while, and I love the smart pots.
They're good pots, man.
They are great. Well, and I think you're familiar with this company too, Ryan. I'm going to share the screen, but I'm going to I'm going to try some of these out. These are called garden socks. Have y'all ever heard of garden socks? They're basically these little bags, and you fill them up and you grow them. You pop the holes in and you grow. Right. And so I'm really interested because I could set these on the ground around my raised beds and kind of grow stuff everywhere. And
Justin, you found a way to keep growing.
I'm finding ways, dude. This is very interesting to me. This is very interesting to me. I like this idea.
I would definitely try to find the materials to see if you can't do that yourself versus trying.
They're sending me a kit. They're sending me a kit to try out.
I see.
But you can just buy the materials, like just the sock itself, and do it like that. I had thought about making a DIY, like a pair of old blue jeans, You know, like have you seen the videos where people take the blue jeans? Ryan, you do this at your house. You should grow a long ass carrot in a pair of blue jeans.
Okay.
That'd be so cool. Take the blue
at
jeans,
least maybe two
Get
carrots.
2 of them, one in each leg.
Yeah.
That's right.
That would be really
Make
cool.
it cool. It would be a cool plant on top. For
Right.
Yeah.
Push all out, because them big carrots get really big tops on them.
Yeah,
and then you'd have a scarecrow, and that'd be perfect.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
That'd be cool, man. I may have to try that.
But
where
those
am I gonna hang them up at?
oh yeah.
I'm about to build a really strong clothesline.
Yeah, you'd have to get some sort of infrastructure.
Like a 4x4 cross, maybe, and like kind of hold them up a little bit. Maybe, I don't know, or some rebar, maybe like frame it out a little bit.
Yeah, I could do that.
Make it interesting with it.
Yeah,
you're a creative guy. I feel like you could do some stuff like that.
I am.
Go down to the Goodwill and buy like the biggest jeans you can possibly buy, and
like some 48 or 50s, like 37s or 38s. Yeah,
that'd be really cool.
There you go. That would be cool.
Pretty cool. Yeah, those socks there, I got introduced to those a few years back when I went to go visit an organization called Crop Swap LA down in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And what they do is kind of these little micro farms around some of the little, these neighborhoods and food deserts around Los Angeles. So we started setting up these cool little micro farms, and one of them, and their idea is that they took the front of this house and it had a slope going down. So then they used like a really thick, like barrier, not like plastic, but like maybe a pond layer.
Yeah.
Type of thing. And they used it and lined it up and created these little divots, you know what I mean? And then put those socks running all the way down. And then at the top, they would have the, like the water and the system run from the top and spray and water it from the top, flushing it down through the socks across the bottom as it sloped down. And then at the bottom of it all was a catch-all and like these barrels that were buried down underneath to take the water there, and then it was just pumped right back up to the top again.
Yeah.
So it just recycled the water up and down through these socks going down the slope.
I've seen vineyards that they do vineyards on hills, and they'll water from the top and it'll hit the swales, and you could almost create the swales with like the socks like that, and they would catch it and they would flow down, and then you have like a sump at the bottom and recirculate. That'd be Except for I'm in the flattest place you could possibly be, so that's not going to work.
This is very true. You just don't need a lot of grade. You just need a little bit of grade. There you go.
Just get you a pile
one sandbag
and start making it.
Yeah. I'm just gonna mount them on my greenhouse, like all up, and like just go vertical with it.
Something else
that'd be really cool, with like strawberries and stuff.
Yeah.
Dig you one of those what are they called? Eco something another, where they dig like 4 foot into the ground and they put a small little hoop house over top of it, and then they plant all in that underground.
Oh yeah.
Really? Yeah. I've seen that. Yeah. The problem with
here is doing it, but my yard is all rock. So I'd need jackhammer, dynamite, which I don't mind to play with that. That sounds fun, but the neighbors would have a fit if I started playing with dynamite.
Well, the problem with me is I'm in Houston, so like we don't even have basements because they fill with water. It's just like if you dig a hole, like if you dig a hole the size of a 5-gallon bucket, no matter where you are, the next morning you'll be full of water. Like it's just
no way.
Oh, it's so wet here, dude. It's so wet and nasty. Yeah. It is.
You're selling us hard on moving to Houston.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I can dig down a foot and hit water. I mean, it's wet. It stays wet here all the time. Yeah, but they don't
down a foot. They don't have main line. That's what happened.
That could be true. Well, and hey, speaking of that, we got Bowtie in the chat. I posted a video of me putting those trellises in my backyard, and the first comment I saw was Bowtie. He was like, "Hey, man, I don't think you drove those wooden posts down far enough." Those wooden posts, I found them at Lowe's, and they're like 92 inches tall. So I was trying to put the T-post driver on top of them and almost killed myself with a T-post. I hit myself. I have hit myself in the head with the T-post driver, and it's not fun. No. I had also forgotten about halfway. I'd forgotten about halfway through that there's fiber lines along that fence. And so I was kind of getting scared of how deep to go.
You hit
down the
one. Yeah.
Yeah. I figured it was safer with a wooden pole to do that than a metal pole. Because if I hit it with that wooden stake, it'd probably just go around, like, push it aside or whatever.
Right.
But if I hit it with a metal T-post, it'd probably slice it right in half.
Oh, absolutely.
And so, so I think I'm safe with the wooden poles, but Bowtie, I might definitely, I'm with you. He said he would have sunk them about 3 foot in the ground. And I was like, I wanted to, but I was scared. I was kind of scared.
Yeah.
And it was, we'll see
you
how
knock
it goes.
yourself out with one of those.
Yeah, I can always drive them down a little bit deeper, but I was just excited and running out of daylight. Even with daylight savings time, there's still never enough time. Yeah, I've got a cowboy hat in my bedroom from where I hit myself, because when you're hitting a T-post really hard, sometimes you forget whenever you run out of T-post.
Which one? I got more over here. I got like 10 of them.
Well, mine was a palm leaf, and it's got a permanent indention from where I was going like this, and I ran out of T-post, and I went like this. I hit myself the last T-post of the day, and I about knocked myself unconscious. It was bad. It was really bad. But
bucking bulls, baby, bucking bulls. Let's do it. Come on.
Oh my gosh.
I'm 40 years old, guys. I'm going to win a belt buckle this year.
Are you really 40?
Yep.
Shut up. I would not have guessed you were 40.
I turned 40 January 4th. I'm going to win my first belt buckle.
Heck yeah.
There you go, dude.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's get to it.
Do it.
And it's like, I'm not telling you how old I am.
I am always told I hold my age well. I think I'll leave it there.
Oh my goodness. Phil, I always leave a little time for fig talk and stuff like that, man. How's the fig life?
It's tough because you know what? I'm making the turn. Like, fig cuttings are waking up. Some fig cuttings woke up and didn't make it. I try to go for that 70% efficiency. But I've been testing a lot of like weaker cuttings, damaged cuttings, being like, what can I get away with? So that efficiency has gone down because I'm pushing the limits, which I always do. And it's just been such a cold winter. I was getting really nervous. And the fact that I have trees waking up right now, and I'm really honing in on harvesting the suckers around my fig trees, because that's just like a guaranteed win. And if you have a fig tree and it has other shoots coming up off the sides, especially if you cut it down to the ground every winter, like your Mount Etna types, like Hardy Chicago, you'll probably have some suckers, and they are the best to propagate with. It's a guaranteed fig tree. And so like I have another 3 to dig up out there. So that puts me at about like 10 or 12 suckers. And then I got 350 cuttings out there right now. So I'm trying to do the numbers of 70% efficiency, and then I have another 200 in the fridge still. So I want to try to cycle through and then get the percentages up, because my inventories, I know it's just low, because I'm in my 3rd season and we're hitting that stride. Like, everybody wants their trees now. The best time is the fall, right? But everybody wants them now, and now it's the second best time, and into the summer. And I think May is really my target window. I try to have some by April, but my inventory is really going to shine in May. And if anyone's propagating right now, it takes about 3 months total from when you get that stick to when you can call it a fig planter tree. But yeah,
3 months.
I really like to do more winter. One thing that I do propagate during like the hot seasons, and I actually sold 11 pomegranate trees today, but it's pomegranates. I pruned back. I had whenever we started getting more freezes here in the Houston area, I was looking for my dad was looking for more than anything. But it was, what is the next best option when it comes to fruit? You got your stone fruits, your apples, stuff like that. That's cool. But like, what is like the next best thing? It's like a cold hardy thing, like besides the citrus, and it's pomegranates. Pomegranates love the cold weather. They do not care. They actually prefer to be propagated during the summer. And that's when we had that hurricane come through 4th of July weekend, and I propagated as much as I possibly could, because I had to cut it down so it wouldn't bash my fence. It was going to break through my fence if I didn't. And so it was the middle of July, and I just started sticking stuff in pots, and I just sold, like I said, 11 trees just now.
That's
And
cool.
within like 2 years, you'll get pomegranates. They grow like crepe myrtles. They grow like wildfire. It's really, really cool.
That's good to know because mine are still young, and I'm trying to wait for mine to like really hit that stride year. You know when the tree finally is like, I'm here now, and then flexes and then just grows a bunch. Like I'm waiting for that on my pomegranates. So you're getting me stoked that it's going to happen soon. The other thing I was going to say, Destin, if you have the space, because they're messy trees, are mulberries.
Yes,
I do. I have a mulberry.
I just picked up 2 cuttings because figs are in the mulberry family, and figs and mulberry cuttings propagate in a very similar fashion. And I'm testing it out now, and I got 2. I got Oscar, and I got another one that's like, I think it's a type of Pakistani mulberry, the really long ones.
Right.
I have the Everbearing.
They are taking off. Like they rooted so easily by comparison, and I'm excited, but I'm gonna have to figure out a nice far away place from maybe the roof of my house to put them. So if everyone can have some,
does it shed leaves or?
Well, the berries can stain.
Oh, okay.
And so you just want to put in a space, and then I can also use it as a trap plant. I have this little part of my thicket where I put some American persimmon trees, and I'm like, I hope they grow in the nice big trees because they can sit in the thicket out there, and all the squirrels can go over there and leave my figs alone because I give them take all this fruit now, leave me alone.
So I got pineapples going.
Nice.
Guava's going, and
pineapple guava or guava.
Guava.
Right.
Right on.
We bought one. I was like, let's see, if the seeds are any good. So I cleaned them up, dried them, planted them, and I'm like, all right, cool. And then I planted some dates. You know what dates are, right?
Like a dry date? You planted the date seeds?
Yeah.
Oh, and they took?
2 of them did so far. So
I'm about to go do this now because I was thinking about it and you just confirmed it. And
get the organic
we're all gardeners.
Okay.
Who has dates in their house? You're so fancy.
Right.
What?
Dude, Costco's been dishing them out like crazy.
Yeah.
Dates are good. Have you ever ate one?
Oh,
they're really, they have like this really
sweet.
Good. They're super sweet. They're super good for you. It's a berry off of a palm tree, the date palm.
Yeah.
Date palm.
Yeah.
And they're orange looking,
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they dry out and they're like brown and they're like really, really sweet, man. They're like, if I'd have known like 10 years ago that those brown, ugly looking things that look like, what's the things that make you go to the bathroom? What are they called?
I know what they kind of look like.
Prunes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I am not eating
that's
that.
That's not where I thought you were going with that, Ryan.
No. So I'm like, that's a prune looking. I'm not eating that. But if I'd have known 10 years ago that those things were that good, I'd have been eating them a long time ago, man.
I mean, dates are an ancient fruit that's been cultivated for a very long time. And they have a sugar in them that is apparently really good for you. And if you eat it with other processed sugars, that they will also bring those insulin levels down from those fruits by eating the dates.
Yep.
And so you've heard that too, Ryan. That's awesome. Yes, and and so my wife started doing this. I don't know what you've been doing with the dates, but she takes out the seed, she shoves peanut butter in it, and then she dips some dark chocolate on that and throws that in the freezer.
Cookie butter, bro. Cookie butter.
Cookie butter.
Yeah. Have y'all ate cookie butter?
I don't think I've had it.
Listen. When the show's over, run out to Walmart, find cookie butter. Okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember. Those Nutty Buddy cookies, right?
Yeah.
Nutter butter.
Yeah.
So it's the stuff that they put in the center of that is what it tastes like, right? And it looks like peanut butter, but it don't taste like peanut butter. This stuff is
way sweeter.
All right, you just pull the seed out, fill your bowl up, and just sit there and dip the dates in them, or apples or even pineapples, and just sit there and eat them. But the dates are really good with the cookie butter. I'm telling you,
all right, cookie butter, and then shout out. By the way, I see Jacob talking about date balls, the Rice Krispie treat dates with the powdered sugar. That sounds amazing.
That does sound good.
Jacob just got his cuttings rooted on his figs, so shout out to him for getting some cuttings and they're taking. So right on, man. Congrats on those fig cuttings, Jacob.
Fig date jelly.
I would think if you like figs, you would like dates. I mean, it's very similar.
Yes, it's that same
consistency.
Sugary. Yeah, especially like a dried date is like a dried fig. A little less seed crunch, but it's definitely got that like sticky texture to it. But it's like really like cinnamon sugar or brown sugar sweetness, if you will.
Oh, Biscoff.
Biscoff. Yeah. Right
Biscoff.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Biscoff, man.
Both
both
airplane cookies.
These are
airplane cookies.
And if Biscoff wants to sponsor me, I'll take a whole case of it. All right, guys.
Both are
expensive. It was like $6 for a little thing.
Oh my God.
All right.
It's probably the worst thing ever. I don't know if I've ever seen this. I might have.
That's why you eat the dates, because it helps. Okay, you eat it with dates.
It brings the sugar down.
That's right.
I've never seen this before in my life. I've never seen Biscoff before once.
Really?
Ever.
Oh yeah.
Really?
I've only seen it on airplanes.
Yeah. If you're flying anywhere, you should know Biscoff. Yeah, they almost every airline's handing those things out.
Really?
And if you put vanilla ice cream with it, it's good with vanilla ice cream.
They're delicious. They're just like a gourmet graham cracker.
They have an ice cream.
It's really good.
Oh wow!
There you go.
Oh wow, yeah.
I ain't seen that, or I'd have done bought it.
Airline size, huh? This might be a more northern thing though, because like there's certain things like what is the Jif puff stuff? The marshmallow puffs. The puff that y'all put like on sandwiches like that. We don't
marshmallow fluff.
Yeah, we don't do that on sandwiches down here.
No,
I don't do that neither.
No. That's like
I know of it, but we don't do it. Do you do like the peanut butter banana?
Oh.
Yes, peanut butter and banana.
Yeah.
Peanut butter and banana sandwiches.
Yeah.
That's Elvis Presley's favorite sandwich.
Peanut butter.
Yeah, Nicole
cookie butter. I am done with peanut butter, so it's like cookie butter and banana sandwiches now.
Oh, dude,
I'm done with peanut butter.
It's crunchy peanut butter or nothing. Crunchy peanut butter.
If I'm going to eat
I've gone back and forth on
sandwich
that.
with it, yeah.
I vacillate on it too, where I'm like, it's a mood thing.
Yeah, I think so.
I also like almond butter better than peanut butter, though. Almond butter is better than peanut butter.
And I know y'all's going to think I'm crazy, okay? But you need to try this. Peanut butter, mayonnaise, banana sandwich.
Nope. Not going to happen.
Listen.
All right, Elvis.
Listen, you know I don't give bad advice. All right.
I don't know if that's true or not. Right? I think you just gave me bad advice.
Trust me. I thought that was going to be a horrible, horrible taste, right?
Yeah.
But for some reason, I can't explain the explosion in your mouth.
Mayonnaise actually does some pretty interesting things.
It like is just this weird. It enhances the peanut butter and the banana somewhat, and makes it a lot more. Listen, just try.
I'm not a big
I'll try
guy in general.
Yeah. Or a grilled cheese, and then you use the mayonnaise instead of butter.
Yeah,
see, that makes sense to me.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, that's good too.
Yep. And make sure it's good.
Or on corn. On corn instead of butter.
I've seen that. But that goes along with people who like to put pizza and ranch. Like ranch belongs on a salad, and that is it.
No, you put
ranch dressing
too.
Nope. Ranch dressing.
No, ranch goes in a cup. Ranch goes in a cup.
No. We are way off. We are so off topic.
I'm glad we came to a conclusion on that. But anyway, dates bring down the insulin spike from a lot of the other sugars that you consume, and then but the date's been really fun to eat. And I'm convinced if dates do that, I think figs do that too, just because of their flavor profile. I mean, listen, figs. When the Roman army would run out of bread, they would feed their rations to their people with figs. To the army and to all the soldiers, they were fed figs because they just have they have everything. They have the fiber, they have caloric intake, they have sugars, aminos. It's all in there,
and they taste really, really good.
They taste really good.
Dates and figs contain natural sugars, primarily fructose and glucose, with dates also containing a small amount of sucrose. So a lot of coses.
Do you like fig bars? Because a lot of people who like figs don't like fig bars.
They're not. You can't go in thinking figs when you go to fig bars. It would. Right. It would be like. It'd be like.
They're not
ham
the
and
same.
No, it's like the word ham is in hamster, but you know that hamster has nothing to do with a ham.
Well,
you know?
I've had a hamster. I'm gonna tell you this, and it tastes more like a hot pocket when you come texture wise.
Right. Okay, but not a ham.
No, because they add so much sugar and stuff to like fig Newtons, and even those fig bars you get like at Costco or whatever, like they're really good, but they add so much sugar. And I actually tried the gluten-free ones, and they're gross. But my wife made homemade fig Newtons, and they were really good. But she probably added a lot of sugar too.
Oh, I love those. Those were probably one of my favorite cookies growing up. Was like a fig Newton. I loved them. But then
I learned this. If anyone wants to know what variety of fig they use, it's the Cadota fig.
Oh, okay.
The Cadota fig is the fig they use for fig Newtons.
But I was completely blown away when I had my first fig, though. You know what I mean? Because all I knew was those cookies, and then when I had my first fig,
everyone knew. You know,
it just blew me away. I was just like, no, this is how you go when it comes to figs. I don't even know if I've had a fig cookie since my first fig I've had.
Huh? Yeah. I've had fig danishes. I've had a lot of good fig stuff. So last spring we did me and Jorge went and did a thing with the Houston Herb Society, and I did a talk on figs. And what they do every month, they pick a new plant and they do a pot roast, or not pot roast, a potluck, where everybody brings a fig dish. And so they all brought like these ladies all brought like fig dishes, and there was some good
it's
stuff.
Like Iron Chef, and the secret ingredient was figs.
Exactly. So every month every meeting they have a secret ingredient, and they all do little dishes with it. And like they made bacon wrapped figs, and they even had like some fig teas. Like, because apparently they wanted me to talk about how fig leaves can be used for teas and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
I don't really mess with that, but you've heard that too, Phil? Yeah,
I actually have my friend's a chef. He's a great sous chef over here at the awesome restaurant Olivero here in Wilmington, Italian restaurant.
Yes, chef.
He inspired me to put the fig leaves, dry them out, and mix them in with focaccia. So focaccia bread. And then he's like, figs and dates are like this too. You can go sweet or savory with them, right? It's maybe a little bit of both. And he was going to take a half a fig, fresh fig, boom, cut it in half and put it into the focaccia with the fig leaves infused into the dough and baked in the dough. And then he was going to blowtorch the top. So he's going to caramelize it. So you basically go through all the different stages of a fig tree in the food.
Well, what about the latex in the leaf?
You got to dry it out and let the latex kind of evaporate out of it.
It'll evaporate on it, like it'll evaporate.
And it'll try to retract out of it, yeah. But
yeah,
and I don't know because I never had it yet. This is just all food inspo and discussion. But I've heard fig leaf tea is actually very possible.
Yeah, someone said, where's Phil's food channel? I have been on Phil's butt about that.
I know.
Phil
guys.
is a cook. Phil cooks a lot, and especially with stuff in his garden. And I've been pushing him to actually do some videos because he does some good stuff. I would like to see more.
I'll do it. I'll make some Instagram vids. Phil's food with a PH. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Well, you're planning on what was the fig cast or whatever or something like that?
The fig cast.
You just make it a part of that. You just make it a part of that.
Phil's fantastic fig food and all the F's. Switching the PHs
instead of bonanza.
Just make it a segment of your fig cast. You know what I mean?
Phil's fig bonanza.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah, I recommend anybody. Like I told, because Enoch, you see it like live streaming in general is just a lot of fun, and people get a kick out of it because you see everybody in the comment section right now. They're having fun interacting, and they kind of build up a community. Like they're probably listening to us and then chatting with each other. Like there's a lot of people just back and forth at each other. That's a lot of fun. Yes.
It really is a lot of fun, and now I just sorry to interrupt, but I just want to mention
you're
that
good.
though too, and kind of emphasize that a little bit because that really is, I think, and again, the thing I've been enjoying the most about my Let's Get Growing show and all of that is as we're growing, as the audience is starting to build, what's ended up happening is not only are we connecting with each other right here live as content creators or communicators and that sort of thing as well too, but all of the people get to hang out at these live shows and meet each other, discuss with each other, and get to share with each other all these sort of things. And I think one of the more fun things about doing these live streams is watching that chat box go and seeing everybody connecting with each other and doing all that sort of stuff. And
Absolutely.
and really so, I've gotten enough now too, where on our show, that it's just, everybody's been interacting with each other so well. We've been building such a great community that I kind of stumbled across this kind of idea we've been doing on the show a couple of different times. Like, there's just days where you just can't get anybody to agree to the date to show up. And throughout the last couple of years, I just find there's certain dates that it's just like, no matter who I throw this to, nobody's going to grab it. So I thought, okay, well, I saw someone else do something similar. So I thought, well, let's do this thing where if I don't have any guests, we'll just call it a community show. I'll hang out with everybody who's in the chat, and then I'll give them the StreamYard link. And I'll be like, well, let's do this old school radio call-in, except for it's a live show. And you guys here who are in the chat and all that, you can jump on and come hang out and talk and interact with me live on all of that sort of thing as well, too. And we've had several. David's jumped in and done that. Shawnee Grows, I see she's in there. She was on just a little while back ago. We do that, and it's been so fun because not only can we connect with each other and us communicators and everything as well too, but connecting with the audience and bringing them in and making them a part of the whole conversation is just something else. And also too, I'll say this. When the audience starts moving and getting to be, and I think it's not very, I wouldn't say big, like some of these other live streams out there, but it's enough out there where when I'm doing some interviews and all that, I'll have a whole bunch of stuff I want to ask and talk about. I'll make a list of questions that I got for myself, and I get to hardly any of those anymore. Because the audience is so involved with the conversation now. They're jumping in with questions. They're jumping in.
It's so fun
to
and
learn a little bit more. And stuff.
I try to jump in, and then they
driving the conversation. And so I get, they take a lot of relief off of my hosting that I have to do and do all of that as well. Because again, too, we want to bring everybody together.
Right?
Yeah. No, that's always the goal. Like with this, I've had so much fun doing this. Y'all got to hear a lot. Y'all got to hear a lot of inside baseball tonight. With it seems like we always do that because, like I said, Enoch does a very similar thing to what we do with live streaming like that, and his is way better production value and he has better internet signal than me. So definitely make sure you check out his show. I'm going to put his link in here in a bit, but make sure you check his out as well. He does it every Saturday and Sunday.
And Sunday, yeah.
And you know what? Sorry.
I'm just going to tease out real quick. I even got some things coming up, and we're going to there's more stuff coming too. So I've got some ideas and some things that we're going to be doing to kind of expand the show just a little bit into doing some more stuff segment wise, things like that we'll be working on for a while. But it's just been so successful and so fun, and just 100 times more than I ever thought it would be when I started this whole idea out. And it's just amazing. I've been so blessed.
Yeah, and it's my favorite thing to do. It's my favorite thing to do, like these live streams, these podcasts, because it's the least amount of effort. Because I'm just chatting and chilling with, and I don't even do any editing. I don't have to do any editing. This is great.
That's the best part.
That's the best part about it, And I get to interact. It's much fun. What were we saying, Phil?
Oh, we got away from it a little bit, but we kind of came back full circle. It's like Destin, your whole theme this year is grow. Let's grow together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the shirts. It's on the t-shirts.
Right. And it's really just like a whole network. And there's nothing more fun than I talk about this all the time, but whenever I meet a gardener and I go to their space, I get to see what they're passionate about. They love sharing every single plant that they have growing. There's none of this oh, I don't know if you can come look at this. They're like, come in.
Yeah.
Here's
exactly.
this. and look at this one just sprouted off of this one, and then we're right there with each other and looking at this because we get it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Because it's like magic sometimes, for sure.
Absolutely.
It is magic.
I'm just waiting on you three gentlemen to come up and see giant pumpkins. All right.
Yeah. I can't wait.
A little harder for Enoch and Destin. You know,
right.
Phil, and me and you, bro, we need to go surf a little bit, and you need to come up here and check some giant pumpkins out.
Done.
We're not that far away, bro.
We got to figure that out. I'll make a weekend out of it, and then
I'll do the same.
Perfect.
Yeah, like we were saying earlier, that's just the ultimate way of taking all of this to that next level is when we can all, as these connections we've made online and through these, discussions and all of that, to be able to finally get to hang out and meet each other in person and do that sort of stuff. I know you guys got to do that this last year,
cool
right?
when you finally
what was so cool is like we just went from where we had left off in the last online conversation.
Yeah.
Like it was like we didn't stop and we didn't have to. Like that's the best part about technology these days. It's like this is live, and like Justin and I have an awesome friendship from all of this, and I have friendships with you guys now. Just so you know, this is the easiest way for me to function is just by being me. So you're just gonna get me like this here, and
Bill doesn't know how to be anybody but him. Like
it's same for me too, And again, exactly.
Yeah, Phil is the same person on and off. He's even more not zesty. Zesty's the word that makes
zesty.
Someone's like, Phil, you gotta make a sticker of that, the Zesty Fig Man or whatever. Like, I don't know.
What though? Destin, Phil, me, and Dirty Punk. Man, what is it? Jeremy.
All
right. We should do a thing in the fall one year. Maybe not this year, but maybe 26. Have some sort of meetup in the fall. Right. And in a centralized location like Kentucky or something, you know what I mean? Or
right.
Bottom of Virginia or something, you know what I mean? To where everybody can kind of like meet up and we have some big meetup somewhere,
Yeah.
Because we can have a lot of fun.
For sure. I think
that would be fun. I'd love to make it.
Yeah.
Come on.
If you want, it's a long way, but if you want to,
I know. I got to meet Jeremy sometime, man. I'm a big fan of his stuff too.
I love it, dude.
I've been trying to get that guy on my show, man.
He's got the Midas touch with gardening food. Like he makes really good stuff.
I sent him seeds for me and him to have a little project competition on who can grow the biggest. I'm going to let him pick. I sent him a bunch of seeds. He can pick from beets or carrots, radishes, whatever he wants. Okay. He's going to pick. I gave him everything for him to pick.
He picked the loofah. He definitely picked the loofah, I bet.
Well, here's the thing. I asked him, I said, do you want to grow? I got giant loofah seeds. You want to grow them? He's like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't think I got enough room, and I'm like, all right, but I still sent him a pile of seeds and giant loofah seeds just in case. All right. So he can pick whatever he wants, and we're going to see who's the winner at the end of this. All right. Because I have a feeling he's going to beat me. All right. I mean, I just had that feeling because for some reason, where he's up a little further north, he can grow these root crops a lot better than I can, So
interesting. Yeah.
So
we've all got our advantages, that's true, depending on where we are.
He's the one that got me successful with root vegetables this year just by broad forking alone. Like broad forking alone made such a big difference.
It does wonders for in-ground as much as it does in raised beds.
I did it in my raised beds. I just caved and I got a broad fork, and because I just wanted to like hill my potatoes, and so like because I got a bunch of seed potatoes, and I was amazed after like the first few punches. I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. That was dense before. Holy cow! Yeah.
You know what I do on some of my smaller raised beds? I will go put the wheelbarrow in front of them, and I will dig them completely out. Okay. Completely out, and then so let's say it's like a 8-foot raised bed, 8 foot long, right? I'll dig the first 4 foot out, put that in the wheelbarrow, and then I'll take the other 4 foot that's still left in there, and I'll put it down. I'll toss it all down into the 4 foot that I just took out and put in the wheelbarrow. And then I take the 4 foot that's in the wheelbarrow and put it in the other upper spot, and just completely switch it up. Take everything that was down below, it's on top now, and completely flipped it all over, right? On some of the smaller ones. Now, you can't do it on ones that are like 36 inches deep, but if they're like 12 to 20 inches, flip that completely out. I mean, just take it all out and put it all back in. And I'll even go as far as taking like goat manure, right? Like from the goat bedding, because I'll throw hay in there for bedding. They'll lay on it. They'll poop and pee on it. It'll compost all winter long. It'll turn into like almost dirt, but you have a lot of, fibers left from the hay. Right. Okay. And I'll put that in the bottom, and then I'll put everything back on top, and by doing that, I've grown 30 plus pound rutabagas off of that,
Nice.
Yeah. And I mean, and like 20 some pound cabbages and, beets I didn't get to weigh the beet. I left it in this raised bed, and the frost didn't look like it was killing it. It looked like it was fine. And then all of a sudden we got that really bad Arctic blast, and I went out there and tapped on it, and it was hollow inside. So I was like, oh. Man. Yeah. So it killed it from the inside out. And I'm going to actually do a video on it tomorrow, because I'm going to turn it over into the soil. I'm just going to flip the soil and put it back in there and let it feed the soil this year. But it is like this big around, and like, wow, I can't even get it on frame.
Whoa.
It's like this long and like that big around.
Wow.
Yeah, it was massive. So I don't even know how much that would have weighed. It would probably been a new state record, but yeah, whatever. I got 39 of them. I don't need any more.
Yeah, me too.
No,
you could round it out. You could round it out. Come on,
you got to round out your 40 this year. You got to get one more. One more.
I do need one more, don't I?
Yeah, go do the loofah.
Right. Get the roll. Hey, I am waiting for Guinness to give me a reply. It was supposed to take them 12 weeks, and it was for the world's smallest watermelon, the world's smallest ripened watermelon. Okay. Let me see what it weighed, so I don't tell y'all wrong.
What?
Yes.
World's smallest ripened watermelon.
Ripened watermelon, yes, sir.
Not to be confused with like the cuckoo melons that aren't really watermelons.
Say someone's trying to cheat with a cuckoo melon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was the seed was the the silver Yamamoto from Baker Creek. Okay. It weighed 68.31 grams. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. Let me see. It's
63 Enoch Grams.
Yeah.
68.31 grams on the scale. Oh, look at you.
And that was a certified scale from the West Virginia State weights and measures. So they actually came here, certified that scale, got the video of it all and everything, weighed 68.31 grams. We cut it open on video, verified that it was full of seeds. Okay. It had like 8 or 9 seeds that were brown.
What's funny is I searched silver Yamamoto watermelons, and the first thing that popped up was one of my buddies here in Houston.
Really?
It's a little watermelon. I'll show you. It's
yeah, they don't get real big. They're like pocket-sized melons.
Shout out to Chad.
Yeah.
This Chad is a little personal watermelon. It's cute looking.
Yeah, it's very cool.
But yours is smaller than that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This was like a little bit bigger than a tomato tomato.
Yeah.
So this is very, very tiny. But we cut it open. We got legit seeds out of it. We ate it on camera. It tasted just like a watermelon. It looked just like the watermelon is supposed to inside. So I turned all that into Guinness to make the world's smallest ripened watermelon, because here's the thing. They keep track of everything big and small, but they have gotten so far into the big stuff that, like, there's this world's smallest sunflower was set in 1985 at 3 inches and something. Okay. It was the smallest one. And like, it literally full bloomed, headed out and everything, 3.5 inches or something. I've tried to beat that a couple times. That is very hard. But we got the world's biggest watermelon at 350 pounds, right?
Right.
So if we're keeping track of biggest, and smallest, you just got to find where you fit in, and there was no record for the world's smallest watermelon, So I grew this on a plant that was literally like 3 foot long. I starved it for water, which wasn't hard because we was in a drought. Okay. And I just kept watching it all summer long. And I hand pollinated it and everything. And I was just watching. And I had Ari from Xiaoma. All right. Y'all know the big channel on YouTube, Xiaoma. He's got like 6.3 million subscribers. Okay.
Look it up.
Yeah. It's XIOMA is what it is. But he goes into places and speaks a lot of different languages, right? Like he's a savant with these different languages. Well, anyhow, he came up to the homestead and he wanted to see all this stuff, right? So he did like a 10-minute piece here. And I peeked around and I said, hey man, I got some of these coho watermelons. Let's try them out. And I grabbed one. They were like this big around. I busted them on the fence and opened them up and we ate them. And I was like, you know what? I ain't checked on that Yamamoto for like a month, man. I better go check and make sure that thing's even still alive. I went over there and the tendril and everything had started to dry up and even the plant started drying up. So I was like, oh, she's done. And it was only this big around. So I'm like, oh, we got to definitely do something here. So I contacted the Weights and Measures and the commissioner of the goodness, I can't think of the name of it, agriculture here, and got them to come up on a Monday. That was on a Thursday when I contacted them. They come up on a Monday and weighed it, and it was 68.31 grams.
That's so cool.
Very little. Yeah. So I'm waiting on it. Now I turned this in back in when was this? That was October 7th. So I turned that in to Guinness October 8th. And it takes 12 weeks. All right. But if you look at the 12-week thing, like Christmas and New Year's and all that stuff was involved there. Well, they don't do anything then. So I'm still patient.
But doesn't Guinness require you to pay for your record?
Yeah. So you got to pay $5 to now this is whenever you're going for a new record. Okay. One that they don't have already established.
To establish it.
Right. You have to pay $5. Then it has to go through a process of, do they want to establish it as a record? What is your means, of wanting to establish it for a record, this, that, and the other. So I had to talk about the history of the Yamamoto. I had to talk about the history of the giant pumpkins and the reason why it was important to have the world's smallest, because we have the world's smallest this, the world's biggest that, but we don't have a world's smallest watermelon yet, and I had to do this whole big write-up and everything. So I had all that prepared. I submitted it all to them, and now we're just waiting patiently for Guinness to get back to me and give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down on whether they want it or not. But I'm hoping they'll say and so far the progression, it's been slow, but I can go on Guinness and log in and see it. It's progressing. It's really slow. It's more than 12 weeks, but we're getting somewhere. So I ain't been told no yet. So that's a good thing too. So hopefully before too long, I'll be holding a Guinness World Record for the world's smallest watermelon, And
it'll be well deserved.
There you
go.
go.
Well deserved.
If I can't get it for the squash because I got cheated out of it, at least give it to me for my small watermelon. Okay, guys?
So, right.
I like it. I like it, dude.
For sure.
Oh my goodness.
There's more than one way to skin a cat, y'all. You just got to figure out which way it is. Okay.
Right.
That's true. Real quick before we end it, guys, give me one thing that you're growing this year that you've never grown before, like in the garden. Yeah,
I'm growing those Starfighter tomatoes.
Starfighter tomatoes. What are those?
Yes, Baker Creek.
Starfighter. Look those up. Starfighter tomato. Oh, those are cool looking.
Mm-hmm. They're a new one, and I'm pretty excited about those.
They've been coming out with some cool. The cool thing now is to get some cool. I grew one called the Violet Jasper a couple of years ago. They look kind of similar, but that is so neat looking,
ain't it? It's pretty cool.
This is from Baker Creek.
Yep.
Wow. What would a tomato like that be like good for? Like as far as for food, so it's just for slicing. It's a weird looking cinnamon.
Probably just putting it in like salads or just snacking on them or something.
That's like that's like a charcuterie board tomato. It's
right.
It's weird looking. Wow.
And then I'm also
Probably make a
in
good
my
salsa or something.
my F5
Yeah.
stage of my pepper that I'm coming that I started breeding. So yeah, so I this year will be my F5s, and pretty excited about that. What I did is I took a mini bell pepper and crossed it with a black pearl. Well, no, backwards. I took the pollen of a black pearl and crossed it to the female on the mini bell and created the F1 version, right? And then I've continuously grew it out. What I'm wanting is the color, right, from the black pearl and the heat from the black pearl, but I want the shape of the mini bell. Okay.
So it's like a little mini bell, like it's like blackish red, purple.
Right,
almost.
right. Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
Huh.
So, and what I'm getting is because the mini bells can throw greens and yellows and browns and blacks, and reds, and the black pearls are black and then they ripen to red. What I'm getting is a lot of striation colors in some of them, which I would like to keep those striations in them, right? But the color's not consistent, and what I want is a blackish purple colored pepper with white striations in it. Okay. And then last year I had one plant that was variegated, so the plant come out white. All right.
Oh, wow.
And that was
The
pretty
leaves
cool.
and all that, right?
Right. So I'm gonna have to build on that and try to figure that out, but that's a completely different project. But yeah, the F5 version of that's going to be this year. And then hopefully within the next year or two, I'll have a fully developed pepper that I can name my own, and start selling the seeds and stuff. And that'll be cool.
Is that a trait
really
cool?
cool.
Is the variegation a trait that's holding on?
So last year was the only year that I got the variegated plant, so I'm going to grow those seeds out this year and see if it continues. But I'm going to have I kept 10 peppers off of that plant and all the seeds out of those 10 peppers, which was a lot of seeds, right?
Yeah.
And you got to plant almost all those seeds to start figuring out what you want. So I got some buddies that are local here, so I'll plant all of them. I'll give them, like 10 or 15 plants. I'll grow 10 or 15 plants, and then we'll just kind of look at it. And if you guys want some of the seeds, I'll send you guys some too if you want to play around with it. But we're just trying to. I just want the variegated part of it, Because
that's something I've been wanting to do for a while is grow a variegated pepper for sure.
Yeah, they're very, very pretty, but I want to keep that white. And here's what's cool: so the flowers on these are white with purple markings, and they kind of look like how they look kind of star shaped. The flowers do, and they had purple in the veins of them, right? That was pretty. And then the variegated plant. They were white and they had some green in them, green splotches here and there. But on some of the leaves, they had purple in the veins, And so that was So I was pretty happy about that. But you guys are the only people that know that, and anybody watching, because I'm very particular about that stuff.
Yeah.
As soon as you start,
there's 10,000 people in the chat.
Give me seeds. What is it?
Well, definitely you definitely see that next generation, and it still comes out somewhat variegated. Definitely send me some seeds your way.
Gotcha, man.
For
I
sure,
definitely love to play with that for sure.
So I'm pretty excited about that because making your own pepper or your own tomato or something like that could be something that lives far past your lifespan. You know what I mean? Like, and that's just cool. You know what I mean? So when I'm dead and gone, people can be growing whatever I end up naming this pepper, and it's gonna be pretty neat. So I think I'm gonna name it after my daughter. So
there you go. That's a good one. There you go. Perfect. That's how you do it.
That's awesome, man.
That's awesome, man. Enoch, what are you growing this year that you've never grown before, man?
Oh yeah.
I'm sure have you planned anything yet, or have you just ordered your seeds?
For me, here's the thing. This year, I'm going to be doing plenty of personal gardening in a certain sense. I'm not going to really try to do too much this year. I've got a lot of we're going to be working on some other projects. I want to get my pepper garden back up on the rooftop that we got. So we want to get that kind of going back again. We're going to be working on possibly doing the front yard and putting some beds out there, making the front yard a cool garden space and stuff. So there's a lot of certain projects that are going on. So in order to focus on a lot of this stuff to where we can really have a I think a really gangbuster year, if you would say, next year by having all this stuff done. So I'm going to really focus on a lot of that, but I'll still be doing plenty of gardening. One of the things just to talk about peppers, talking about like breeding your own or isolating and those sort of things I haven't done before. That's going to be like one of my main focuses on my channel is putting out a pepper growing series that I've already started now. And I haven't done those sort of things before. So in that series, I'm going to kind of test around and play with those and kind of show the ideas and how they work and that sort of stuff. So we'll still do certain things like that. But I think if there's something new, which isn't really new, let's just call it something I want to try again after many years of failing. Years ago, I failed. So early on in my gardening thing, I wanted to do trees and getting container trees and all that. And I got a citrus tree. And it was a blood orange. It wasn't not good for my area. I mean, I completely failed at keeping this thing alive and doing all that sort of stuff. And then I tried another citrus and again, wasn't working. So I was like, that's probably just a little too advanced for me to try to work on right now. And so I'm going to come back to that, I think, this year. And I want to try to really succeed at growing some citrus here in my area in containers. So,
yeah.
So that's kind of, I think that'll be kind of one of the things I'm going to try to do.
Satsumas or Meyer lemons, because they're going to be your hardiest.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, give me my best success I can right off the bat, right? Before we try anything really too challenging. But that's what I would say is kind of new in a sense. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, I was trying to think of that. I was like, what is new? I mean, I've grown so many darn things that, I've either tried or not and everything. But I think that's something I really need to do is go back to doing that and seeing if I can't test my skills again over these years and see if I can't make a citrus succeed here.
There you go.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
No,
in containers too, because I'm sorry, I was just going to say that's another thing I'm listening to you guys too throughout this is that I kind of, all my trees are in containers and I can only have so many because I only got so much space. Right. You guys talk about all these different varieties things and your figs and all these pomegranates and all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, man, I just wish I had the space for all of those containers that I would need to grow all of those different things. But I try to do as much as I can when it comes down to it. But my space is limited for a lot of that sort of stuff.
I know. I understand. I'm on the same page. I'm on the same page, fighting for space. Phil, I know you got to run soon. Phil, hey, let everybody know what you got going on, what's coming up. I'm going to share philsfigs.com, the link on the chat as well. Go ahead. And
a lot of you guys may have heard that the Hobby Greenhouse Club has their annual plant sale here in Wilmington, North Carolina. That is the first weekend of April. And so everyone that's in my area, come on out. It's all local growers. And I'm the president of the Hobby Greenhouse Club here. And we all just out of plants. So you get to see some really cool varieties of things that we've been trying to keep alive in our greenhouses. I do have some other plant sales coming up, but I'm behind, so I'm trying to get as much growing as I can. But I'll just offer what's up. But I don't have any fig cuttings really left available. Everything's going towards my trees, which will be available mid to late May.
Awesome, dude. Well, check out philsfigs.com for merch. He's got the hats and the shirts and everything as well. So we're designing a sticker, and we will have a fig cast soon. I promise.
Yeah.
The chairman of the gourd, Ryan Cook, what you got going on, man? What you got coming up?
So shameless plug real quick. If anybody needs giant seeds, you can go to pumpkinrick.com, get any seeds you need from there from me, or you can email me at babydrill2119@yahoo.com. If you need some seeds, just put seeds in the subject title there and I'll get you hooked up with them. But what do we got going on? We're just going to, stick to the basics, show people how we grow in raised beds and in ground. We're going to have a few giants growing, but other than that, we're going to expand and start doing some other things, get out there, do some fishing videos, horseback riding videos. The other thing that's pretty exciting is me and my buddy's going to start a new YouTube channel, East Coast Cowboys. So you guys can tune in for that. And we're going to start having fun and, y'all guys watch us train horses and ride them and maybe get bucked off of a few of them, But it's going to be fun. just trying to get back down to doing it, for the love of it, right? Not for anything else other than just the love of what I like to do. I think, for a couple of years I got sidetracked and wanted all these records, and it was all about record. And I lost sight of the bigger picture, which was family, God, friends. Right. And I was just too focused on everything else. And so now I just want to get back, settle in, and get back to doing it for fun, so come over if you want to watch some fun stuff and enjoy the videos, because I try to make as many people laugh. And if I can't make you laugh, at least I can teach you something. So
I can't make you laugh, I'll make you cry.
That's for sure.
For sure, right?
Yep.
It's all cheers.
I appreciate it, Ryan. I really do, man. Enoch, let everybody know who you got coming on this weekend. What you got coming up, dude?
Yeah. Well, one of the things though too is, again, I am and will be putting out more video content this year. This is really, slowly but surely we're going to be doing this. Like I mentioned just before, we got the pepper series, which is just starting to go. You can follow along with me through growing out all of my peppers like I do throughout the years I've been growing them. I've kind of got a system, so I'm just kind of sharing that with everybody through this series, and again, that'll lead us all the way throughout the season. So maybe you get to see me rebuild that rooftop pepper garden and all those sort of things, which will be really fun. So I encourage people to follow along with that as far as videos. And then again too, the Let's Get Growing show every Saturday and Sunday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern, and we've got great guests every single weekend. This weekend we've got Andre Baptiste from Andre the Farmer. He'll be on with us, as well as Jay Tracy from the Cucumber Shop. We're going to talk about exotic cucumbers with him and dig into what's going on with Andre the Farmer there. And then on Sunday, our Sunday edition of the show, it's the third weekend of the month. And every third weekend of the month on the Let's Get Growing show, we do a monthly gardening book club. And on the monthly gardening book club, which we started this last year, is my good friend Mark Brochet Colbert, NBC we call him. He's from up in Portland, Oregon. He's a garden educator, rooftop gardener, and all this sort of stuff. And so he co-hosts with me on our book club. So we kind of do this together and everything. In fact, I got it right here. Our book for this month, which we'll be talking about. We're talking about climate change resilient vegetable gardening with Kim Stoddart from the UK. So she'll be joining with us on Sunday to talk all about her book and all of that sort of stuff as well too. We got lots and lots going on as we keep moving throughout the year, as you all know. And of course, we will definitely be working on getting our garden party friends joining with us, hopefully here real soon on the show as well again too, because I'd like to get all three of you together this time. So that's what I really want to do, is get Phil and Des together.
Do we decide on April 6th? I think that's what we were trying to do. April 6th.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I want to just find out from everybody, make sure we'll work on that out afterwards. But I'm just saying, we'll get you guys back on real soon again too, and all of that. I just really love all of this stuff. I really, really appreciate you guys bringing me in here when you can, and
I love it,
being
dude.
Part of the conversation and all of that too. So again, I'm always ready to talk gardening whenever you're ready. So definitely look forward to seeing all of you here again on the Garden Party podcast. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, dude. Thank you so much, man. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out all night. I don't have an event this weekend. Next weekend, we'll be doing Jorge's Hidden Gardens on Saturday, and they'll be at Fred Reyes Nursery on Sunday. We are doing $5 off a spring sale. Use promo code SPRING for $5 off all the Texas Garden Guy camo hats. So go check that out. And lots of cool stuff coming soon. Make sure you get your spring garden going. Phil, I know you got to run. Follow Heavenly Hills Homestead. Follow Phil's Figs. Follow Enoch at the Urban Gardener. I'm going to get it down eventually.
Either way, it don't matter.
But guys, thank y'all so much. And I really enjoyed this evening, and we'll see you on the next one.